Hi there. The purpose of this presentation is to review values and goals with your individual contributors on your team. You're going to be doing this prior to having your first initial one-on-one with them. So prior to setting up your initial time with them, it's going to be helpful to gather some information about your team to learn more about how they operate and how they thrive. Now, you're also going to be meeting with your manager, who has also worked with these individuals for quite some time, who's going to review with you their strengths, their growth areas of opportunity. They're also going to share with you their quality assurance, as well as their annual or a mid-year review, or any reviews that may apply to them, whether that be a performance review or just general information about the individual. But before you meet with your team, I'd like you to send an email that asks them to share their values as well as their self-reflection exercise. So to quickly go over the value exploration, in this is a one-pager where it's asking your employees to really tell you what's important to them. How do they want to be known by you? How do they want to be known by others? What makes them feel valued? And then thinking about their professional growth. So what is important for you to experience in your work life? So you're thinking about not just in their role as a coach, but what is important for them? Overall, what kinds of things do they want to feel like they've contributed to? How do they want to feel like they're valued in their work life? What fuels them? What makes them passionate about being at work? So once you've done the value exploration, then you'll move on to the self-reflection exercise with them. This is where you're going to look back, learn about them, and you're also going to look forward. So with this, you're going to have them look back and ask them, what are they most proud of or challenged by in the past few months? You're also going to ask them a bit about what are their strengths? What motivates them at work? How do they embody the carrot values? Finally, you'll ask them to look forward. So what is one skill that's hard for them right now that they really want to work on? And what are some potential goals that they also want to work with that align with this skill set or their personal values? And what material do they need to reach this goal? So what type of support do they need? What type of resources do they need, or additional training? Once you've had them fill out those two forms, you'll review those, and then you'll kind of start to think about just little brainstorming. You'll also be doing a brainstorming with them, but it's helpful for you to kind of just jot down some overall themes that you see. Then you'll have your first one-on-one with them. And don't worry, we're going to go over some best practice for one-on-one later down the road. Finally, you'll have them set up some SMART goals, which we're going to review shortly. Now, there's two types of goals that we want you to work on with your employees. The first one is going to be a performance goal, so goals that are directly linked to the department objectives. So think about quality of coaching, think about project-based work that we're working on as a team collectively. Then you're also going to ask them to create some development goals, so goals that are primarily aimed to help them evolve in their role as a coach. But these roles also ultimately kind of funnel into the coaching responsibilities. So we have two fundamental responsibilities as a coach that we're going to look at next year for 2022. The first one is to maintain an active caseload of 190 to 1, inclusive of light touch, and proper utilization of all coaching operations, to include quality notes, SMS outreach, and scheduled touch points. The second thing will be to maintain a high quality coaching score every quarter of greater than 30 of meeting expectations. We look at operations, coaching skills, as well as tobacco cessation. Now, our department goals are going to be looking at three different areas. The first area that we want to look at is basically overall engagement within the first week to 2 weeks of pivot. So we want users to come in and pair with a coach and automatically receive a message. So we want to have a 97% pairing rate to receive a message. We want to have 66% of that population actually activate into coaching and send the coach a direct message. And we want about 95% of all those pivots that activate into coaching to send a coach 2 messages in that first week. We're thinking that all of these items will help increase our engagement if we can get folks to talk to us in the first week or 2. We also want to look at developing and implementing coaching protocols around supporting our pivoters that vape, particularly pivoters that are dual users, so either using cigarettes and vape and marijuana, vape and other sources like smokeless tobacco, as well as those who vape to quit and used it to quit smoking, or our younger population that's under 25 that may have never smoked before but vape. Lastly, we want to look at expanding professional development opportunities within our team as a whole, but potentially expanding this outside of Carrot as an opportunity to increase our revenue. So we're looking at weight management, stress management, as well as mental health and substance abuse, all related to tobacco cessation. So your coaches can really look at something around the area of coaching quality. So something in their quality review or their annual review of an area that they need to work on, whether that be a coaching skill like personalization or TTS skills like really leaning into medications, or honestly just like making sure that they can handle their caseload. But it also can be around some of these areas of really diving deeper into wanting to learn more about vape and being a lead and expert in that. Once you've kind of reviewed the evaluation of their exploration as well as their strengths and how they want to contribute to the team, then you're going to work with them on setting SMART goals. So we're going to look at what do they want to accomplish? So what's the actual S? Then how are you going to measure it? So how are you guys going to sit down and say, okay, they've achieved that goal. So what does that look like? Maybe it's a higher quality assurance score. Maybe it's completing a course. And then you're going to look at, is it achievable? So do they feel confident that they can reach this goal and attain it? And is it also challenging for them? So not only is it easy to attain, but like, is it challenging them enough to like spread their wings a little bit, learn and grow? And then what tools will they need? And then what are some roadblocks that might get in a way that may not make this achievable? Finally, we'll look at the last two pieces of this of kind of understanding if it's realistic. So is it really meeting or is it relevant? Is it meeting our objectives as a department and as a company? And also, is it realistic in the time frame that we're looking at? Maybe the next quarter, maybe it's a 6-month goal versus a 3-month goal. So once you've kind of went through this, you're going to look at the last steps with them. So then you're going to meet with your direct report and you're going to discuss the visions and values. You're also going to review the coaching responsibilities, the recent QAs to really determine where are their opportunities for growth. You're going to ask them to set at least 1 performance goal and 2 development goals, and then complete the goal template and identify individual action steps to reach that performance and development goal.